This is In Your Business.
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 This is In Your Business for the UMSL Business Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of In Your Business with UMSL Business. My name is Marina Prediger. I'm an MBA student at UMSL, and I'll be your host for today's episode. Before we begin, we would like to let you guys know that this meeting is being done 100% virtually, so we're ensuring everyone is safe. And with that being said, this service also allows us to record the podcast as a video, which can be found in the UMSL Business YouTube channel. If you're interested in watching it, please go take a look at the YouTube channel. And today I have the pleasure to present our amazing guest, Amanda Robinson. She's the founder and CEO of the Digital Gal, and she's widely recognized in the digital marketing industry as a Facebook ad expert, an author, a consultant, and also a speaker. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, Marina. I'm well. How are you today?
Good. Well, welcome. And do you mind starting by telling a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal. I teach Facebook ads with my 4-week Facebook ads program and my Swift Kick in the Ads membership. I basically live, eat, sleep, and breathe everything Facebook ads and have done that basically since Facebook ads started. So I've had the pleasure of growing with the platform as it has spiraled into the challenging beast it is today that most business owners have gone up against. So yeah, it's been something that is a passion of mine, and I've had the pleasure of helping lots of businesses, mainly small businesses is where my focus is, in helping them learn Facebook ads for themselves, as well as helping businesses untangle some of the account issues and challenges that they run into with their own Facebook ads. So that's a little bit of a background on me. I'm based in Victoria, British Columbia. I'm Canadian, and I have road tripped and traveled through many of the states, and I do business with people all around the world. So it's an exciting. It's definitely not what they taught us in college, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is an international podcast. We're both from other countries now. So starting with Facebook ads, of course, how did you get involved with that, and how was the beginning of this career?
So in the beginning, I don't even want to put dates on this, but back in the day, it's funny how it actually started through my hobby of photography. So I started with photography back in the day, and then the photography brought me into learning Photoshop. Photoshop brought me into learning how to design posters and small little promotions for small community groups like theater groups or charities that I was involved with. And then designing those little posters got to the point where, well, how do we promote it? Well, let's use Facebook. And then as Facebook started growing and advertising became an option, let's put some ad dollars behind these small community posts, and they just took off, and it was wonderful. So that was way back in the heyday where you could put $25 into Facebook and get a huge return coming back out of it with very low competition. And it was so much more simpler back then. So that's kind of where it started. And then over time, I've just grown with it, and eventually got to the point where my side hustle became my main hustle. I quit my full-time job and became full-time with the business. I haven't always been the Digital Gal. The Digital Gal is personal branding that sort of evolved out of my career path. So as soon as I rebranded everything into being the Digital Gal, everything else just clicked. So I've been doing this business now for, I think I'm going on my 7th year right now. And so it's interesting how it started with opening doors that I had no idea were going to open into this direction. It was never an intentional aim to say, I'm going to become a Facebook ads expert. It just, my curiosity just kept opening new doors and opportunities.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, staying with the Facebook ads subject, could you tell us how do they work and why are they so powerful, especially now and over the years?
I would say one of the reasons that they are so powerful is because of the volume of data that Facebook has, the volume of data that Facebook is sitting on, and the powerful tools that us as advertisers have had access to. And I would say we have been living in what I would consider like the wild, wild west, the heyday of Facebook advertising, because now as things are changing, data laws are changing, international rules are being implemented, and we're starting to have more controls on top of that data, which is really good, excellent, it's needed and necessary. But Facebook ads have been traditionally incredibly powerful because of the targeting that we can do. Everything from targeting people based on behaviors, demographics, job titles, interests, geography, and then also leveraging the power of retargeting. So being able to retarget people based on their actions that they've taken on your page, and also the power of the pixel, being able to track actions that take place off of Facebook. So with all of those data points combined, you can get incredibly strategic with your advertising at probably one of the lower cost rates compared to other platforms that you'd be investing into. So it is a really excellent space for small and medium-sized businesses to flourish in.
That's pretty cool. So everyone should know about Facebook ads, right?
I would say Facebook ads aren't the be all and end all for every business, but I would say there's a benefit for every business to at least have a portion of their advertising invested into it. So, and then again, just managing expectations that, when people say Facebook ads don't work for me, well, that's like saying email marketing doesn't work for you. Email marketing can work. It just involves how much focus you're putting into it. Are you putting the resources and energy into it? And are you building it around what your audience needs are? Same with your Facebook advertising. You can make it work for you, but it has to fill the right fill the right need for you and for your customers or potential clients to make sense. So you do need strategy in behind it. And if you're just trying to throw money at Facebook and see what sticks, they're just going to take your money.
Yeah. So the next question I have, is it all about pay and play now, or what about organic reach? Does it work? Does it not work anymore? What do you think of that?
You're going to hear a lot of people say that organic is dead. And I want to say organic isn't dead, but organic takes a lot of work. So let's break this down a little bit. Organic versus paid. When we're saying organic, that essentially means that you have, in the terms of Facebook's world, that means that you have a business page and you are posting content to that business page and not paying for it to be able to have that content circulated and reach new people, or reach even the people who have already put their hand up and say, I like this page. So organic is getting in front of people without paying for it. And you get organic reach by putting out really high quality, compelling content that is scroll stopping, click worthy, intriguing, interesting, educational, emotional. That's how you get organic to perform for you. But organic also relies on the backbone of the algorithm and how the algorithm works. And there are so many signals that pour into how the algorithm responds to your content. And for example, let's frame it this way before we get into the pay to play environment. On the organic side, when you post something on Facebook, on a Facebook business page specifically, Facebook is going to take that content, kind of like a small appetizer at a party, and it's going to walk out the door. It's going to circulate that appetizer among your guests and sample that content out there. If people are biting on that content, consuming it, engaging with it, then it's going to continue serving it to more and more people. If Facebook does a small sample of, say, the first 50 people and tries to serve that content and nobody is liking it, commenting, sharing, clicking, watching the videos, engaging whatsoever, then Facebook demotes that content, sends it back to the kitchen and says, people didn't really like the flavor of that one. Let's just put that one away and not circulate it anymore. So it only lives on your page and it has no organic circulation. The algorithm has deemed it unworthy based on how people are consuming it. So organic, in today's day and age, we have a lot more businesses on Facebook than we've ever had before. And businesses have caught on that it is a lower cost place to be doing social activity. And pardon me. So in order for businesses to have high performing organic content, they have to have high quality audiences of people who their content is connecting with. They've had to do the work to attract that in. And it's a lot of work. So whether you are putting that work in via your time, and your time is worth money, or if you're sacrificing the time that you'd put into it and then putting those efforts into a paid environment, so instead of just paying for ads, then you can reach people a lot faster and you can use the power of targeting to navigate to reach the right people. Now, the real secret sauce here is doing it in combination together. So having organic activities and having your pay to play, your paid ads, and having the two of them work in harmony together to be able to grow your audiences with the paid ads and then retain those audiences and keep them engaging with the organic. If you're relying 100% on an organic strategy, it can be done. But I'm seeing with clients right now, there are certain clients in certain industries where their own personal organic is dead. Yes, however they are posting, it's not hitting anything for the algorithm. Their organic is just not working whatsoever. So we're trying to jumpstart that engine with some paid advertising and some strategic targeting. I have other clients where their organic is crushing it. But now we're leveraging the power of paid ads to get that organic attention span to convert into dollars and cents. So organic isn't dead, but pay to play is absolutely the exchange of time versus money. So if you don't have the time to invest into a mammoth, and I'm talking mammoth organic strategy, then organic alone isn't going to work for you right now.
Yeah,
Sorry,
definitely.
that was a long-winded answer.
No, it was pretty good. Yeah, content is definitely, you have to work on the content. It needs a lot of time for sure.
Yes.
So have you watched The Social Dilemma?
I've watched about 75% of
Yeah.
that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, I watched last week or something. Yeah, it was nice. What did you think of it?
I found it very interesting from my perspective. What I found very interesting was the reaction of people online. A lot of people were very upset over watching that movie, and I would almost say paranoid about how their data is being used and how much these social networks have on you. But from my perspective, this is something that I've seen, I've been exposed to, have seen it, and have been using the power of that for kind of doing good with ads, of getting ads in front of the right people who care instead of saturating ads for the wrong people who don't need it. It's seeing the power of the amount of data that is out there on us doesn't creep me out at all. It just makes me realize that's the reality of it. But I am really happy that it took a documentary like that to open everybody else's eyes to, yes, when I've been, connecting this back to what I was saying, we're in the heyday or the wild, wild west of data. Us advertisers have had access to levels of data on people that is insane, that we have the power to target that powerfully. And so watching The Social Dilemma and having other people become more wise to it, it now feels like it's leveling the playing field so that I, as an advertiser, don't feel like I'm doing something wrong anymore. It's not that I'm doing something wrong. These are the tools. This is the environment that I have to play in. And I'm not choosing how much access or how little access I have. It has gone very unregulated. So it really has been there. For example, there are a lot of things that I, as an advertiser, could be doing right now in the back end with using different businesses' pixels to collect and harvest information and data. I could turn around and I could sell that information. I could grow different pages and different audiences and sell that off to other people. There's so much power in that data, but as morally, you just don't. But some people do. So there is a lot of negative stuff going on out there, and now watching different regulating bodies kind of crack down on that and create different regulations such as GDPR, such as I'm in Canada, the CASL, the Canadian anti-spam legislation. We've seen new legislation roll through California, and I'm sure that's going to be rolling, statewide eventually. So the regulations are coming, and the more people's eyes are open to how much data and how much power advertisers and corporations have, then I think it's going to level the playing field better. And it's going to make people like me, who are legitimately trying to run ads in a normal environment, not feel like I'm doing something wrong. But I have seen other businesses take advantage of it, and it's definitely, I've seen other business owners where partners have split, and one of the partners takes all of that data and cross-pollinates it into the new business and takes all the customers away from the existing business. There's crazy things that can happen out there. Your data is valuable. It's incredibly valuable. And on Facebook in particular, we've had very, very low cost, cheap access to high quality data for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think like many countries and states are creating new laws to like change how we're doing things now regarding to that.
Exactly.
But staying on the same track, do you see Facebook getting affected by the new cookie policy by Google?
I see. So I can't speak to Google specifically, but I can definitely talk about Apple and the Apple's iOS 14 change. So what Apple is doing is they're rolling out a change in how their system works, in putting the onus on basically permission-based marketing, so that you as a user, for example, would get a prompt on your phone to say, "Hey, in order to use this app, Facebook wants to know if they can track you for advertising purposes." And most normal people are going to say, "No, I hate being tracked. Please, everybody, stop using my data for ads." And they're going to click on no. And they're going to say, "No, you can't track me anymore." Well, what that's going to do doesn't actually reduce the number of ads that you're being served by Facebook. What it's doing is it's reducing the number of targeted ads based on your interests, behaviors, and activities. So therefore, you're seeing the same volume of ads, but now if you're not a parent, now you're getting ads for diapers. If you're a female, now you're getting ads for men's loafers. So it's not going to improve your user experience whatsoever. But then on top of that, it's causing some pretty massive changes for small business owners right now in the back end. So when Apple has basically said, we are now going to be putting this in the forefront, allowing people to opt out. The option to opt out has always been there. You just had to dig through all your settings that have been quite buried to go and find it. So now it's going to be in the forefront. People are going to be en masse opting out. When we run Facebook ads, if you look at the split on the quantity of people coming in through mobile, I would say for most of my clients, that traffic is about 95% mobile. And then out of that mobile traffic, it's about a 50-50 split between Android versus Apple. So if you are eliminating nearly 50% of the tracking capabilities of seeing people's behaviors and activities when they go off of Facebook and onto a web page or a landing page, or how they're consuming content in the non-Facebook environment, and that information, waiting for that information to get reported back to inform your advertising so you can manipulate your strategy around it, it is we're losing visibility to that, and we're losing a large chunk of volume of data through that. So because of that, Facebook has had to react to that and make a whole bunch of changes in their back end of the system. And it's causing a lot of headache for small business owners. Such changes such as it could be 48 hours. There could be a 48-hour delay in our reporting. So we can't react as quickly to changes in, did this campaign work? Did it not work? Is this information accurate? Is it not? Changes such as we now have to choose our top 8 pixel events. We used to be able to we can still track tons of events with our pixel. But as far as optimizing for our ads, to make our ads better, to reach the right people, to increase the volume of sales that you have, track actual activity, we're going to see a major dip in that as well. So the small business owners who have small budgets to play with are the people who are going to get caught in this transition of how Facebook is figuring out how to rewire their system so that they can deliver the service, and how Apple is implementing these changes and rules. So for small business owners, if I only have $500 a month to spend on Facebook ads versus a giant corporation who has $50,000 a month to spend, that $50,000 is going to give you a much higher amount of data volume to be able to make more nimble changes in reactions within, are your ads working or not? If I'm spending $500 a month, it might take me several months of spending those ad dollars before I really kind of know how to maneuver my strategy and make changes on what ads are working and which ones aren't. So it's a longer term game. And when those changes are rolling out, if you don't have data to work with, it's harder to react more quickly, to make the right changes, and it will cost you more money over the long term. So larger businesses with bigger budgets will be able to react faster. Smaller businesses are going to be able to, they'll be reacting slower. It's going to cost a lot of money, and we're losing a lot of functionality that we had before. So it's a bit of a headache right now. It's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, but that's gonna keep happening. Like, things are gonna keep changing. We're gonna have to keep adapting to everything. It's how it is.
Exactly.
Just like we were talking about earlier about the GDPR and the privacy laws. But staying on the same track, how is we were talking a bit about how things change nowadays, and then the tone of brands now when advertising, it's kind of like we're all in this together because of the unprecedented times. Do you think that's going to change? Do you think it's going to be more an intimate conversation from now on, or?
I think we have seen a large shift, especially when our global circumstances first changed. A lot of businesses had, for example, inappropriate advertising that was no longer relevant, where we're seeing, ads that have been running for a long time where you have giant groups of people partying together. Those ads are now inappropriate, or ads that were insensitive to people's health and circumstances. So there were a lot of advertisers that have had to pivot quite quickly, and we have seen a lot of people coming together to be able to say we are all in this together, and we're all supporting each other. But it's also caused quite a shakeup as far as the ad inventory that was available, people leaving the platform, new people coming onto the platform, changes in ad costs. So I think from an advertiser standpoint, there are a couple factors going on. One is trying to appeal to our current circumstances and trying to appeal to people's current purchasing behaviors, which have done a giant 180 from a year ago. And then the other part of that is trying to work with the volatility of the ads market right now and the ad costs in behind it. So the strategies, those tried, tested, and true strategies that we've always done that have always worked, they're not working anymore. Audiences aren't responding the same as they were. Audience buying patterns and behaviors have changed. The algorithm has changed. The inventory that's available has changed. So it's almost like we're all in this state of flux and we're all trying to figure it out. So technically, as an advertiser, we literally are all in this together. We are all weathering these changes and weathering these storms. Along with that, we also saw a huge volume of ad account shutdowns, business manager shutdowns, and account people being restricted from advertising, them personally being restricted from advertising across all of Facebook. And a lot of legitimate businesses have been caught up in this. It's, again, just goes back to the volatility of Facebook retooling their systems and rejigging their systems to make it a safer space, but at the same time adjusting their platform so they can accommodate these changes in behaviors and patterns and changes with advertisers. So a lot of us normal advertisers are getting caught up. I've personally had my my personal account shut down. I've had my ad account shut down. I've had my business manager shut down. I've had it all. I've gone through it all, and I've gone through it all with clients as well. So I feel like from October until now, it has been crazy on Facebook. And I feel like we're all on this roller coaster together. And I think it will level out soon. I mean, realistically, we are all 1 year into everything changing, and everything from personal lives to our work habits to our advertising budgets and everything in between. So even though things can seem a little bleak and frustrating at times, really, we are all in it together. And I think advertisers will be shifting their messaging, and we'll see it settle into the groove, and we will see it work itself out over time, but stick with it. Don't get discouraged.
For sure. It's like a revolution, everything kind of changing kind of fast.
It's so quickly too that even
Yeah.
people like myself, where I know the system inside out and backwards, the volume of changes are hitting so fast and furious. I'm having trouble keeping up at times. I don't want to say I don't even know how small businesses do it. I do know because I'm hands on the ground with them all the time. But I see the level of frustration that business owners are going through when they're not, the digital gal who has been doing this for years. When you're first stepping on scene going, okay, I just, my physical shop has had to close. I've never done online advertising before. Now I need to sell these products because I'm carrying $1 million in inventory. Help. And that's the level of desperation and frustration I'm seeing small business owners run into right now with trying to adapt. And it's heartbreaking. And that's where, if I can offer any help at all to smooth out that process, then my job is done. It's good.
Yeah. Even if they knew a little bit, with everything changing, it probably got really complicated.
Well, that's one of the reasons that, so with the 4-week Facebook ads bootcamp that I've been running, I feel like I've cracked the code in a couple of ways on figuring out how to teach Facebook ads in a way that people are going to understand it. But because it changes so quickly, I teach it live in a live environment so that you're seeing on your screen, you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing on my screen today, not 6 months ago, not a year ago. And then when people get into the boot camp, I run it every other month to every third month. I rerun the program again, and people are in it for life. So they can keep retaking it because it changes so much that you might sit down and go, okay, I'm going to learn Facebook ads. You sit there, you go through the 4-week program, and you think you've got an idea of how to do it. Then you actually get hands-on. You go and actually try to do it for yourself 2 months later, and the entire ads manager interface has completely changed. They've moved everything around, and then you've hit a barrier and a roadblock. Well, rather than just getting frustrated and stopping, it's like, okay, boot camp reruns again. Let's see what's changed, see what's new. And that has been wildly successful at actually getting business owners to learn to do their own Facebook ads compared to the old school style of just handing them a course. Here you go. Here's 12 videos. Go watch them. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah, definitely. Switching a little bit the conversation towards your project. Last year launched the book, The Ultimate Guide to Social Media Marketing, with Eric Button, Jen Herman, Stephanie Liu, and Mike Alton. How was that experience? And what was your audience? Who were you targeting? And why should they read it?
So the Ultimate Guide to Social Media Marketing is a really, really special project. The reason being that each one of those authors that you mentioned, each of us have our specialties and basically like our superpowers. And rather than each individual person trying to write one individual book and trying to say, here, this is how you do it. Well, social media and digital marketing isn't just one project. All of these pieces integrate and they touch each other and they play into each other like an ecosystem. And you need to be able to keep yourself current, stay up to date, and understand what the current trends are in social media. So to be able to combine those superpowers from industry experts who are in industry in basically a full 360-degree look at all of the digital marketing landscape, and to encapsulate that into a really easy to read book that isn't just talking about, here's a generic tactic. It's really digging in to some really special strategies, thoughts, and directions of what we're currently living in right now, not the social media of 10 years ago. So that's one of the reasons that I mean, it's a great read. It's a great book. You should definitely check it out. But the other cool part of that is that three of those authors, so there are 4 of us, we're really good friends and we're in a mastermind together, and we combine our superpowers on a regular basis. So we have, by writing a book with friends, people that you collaborate with and people that you trust, it has created a really amazing experience because it's my first time being an author on a title and having it on Amazon. It's really neat. But being able to have really good friends who are in this industry, who understand the significance of that and the excitement behind it, who can celebrate it with you, it's made for a wild experience. Then on top of that, all of us work in social media. So the launches that we had with this book and during pandemic, being able to launch this book without having physical parties or physical, in place experiences, it was incredible to leverage the superpowers of all of us and to leverage all of our individual audiences and to come together to be able to have this shared experience together. I am just thrilled that we were able to do it and do it the way it happened. So I'm really, really happy with that. So not only is it a really good book with easy to read and great information and strategies in there, it's also, I guess you could say, a really neat little passion project with people I really admire and respect.
That's so cool. Yeah, you guys look like I'm imagining the marketing Avengers.
Yes, sometimes that's what it feels like. It is really
Yeah.
neat though if any of us run into a jam with any of either our own personal experiences or with our clients, we really have our A-team roster lineup of saying, oh, you need someone to help you with your blogging content? I have someone. Oh, you need somebody to help you with your live video? I've got the person. Oh, you need an Instagram strategy? Oh, I've got that too. It's so easy to be able to point people in the right direction. And it's not just a matter of referring business among friends. It's a matter of getting the expert up-to-date information and advice and then tapping into their network of people to basically take a client or take a query and get them directed and pointed in the right direction with full confidence that they're going to be well taken care of. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And Also, you'll be speaking at MDMC again. Are you excited for that? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great about it this year. I'm really, really excited at this opportunity. So this year I'm going to be all over MDMC in a few different ways. So I'll be presenting a Facebook advertising workshop. So I think there's 2 days of workshops. I'm also going to be presenting a live session. So by the end, I'm going to be helping with some co-hosting of some of the sessions. So by the end of MDMC, you're pretty much going to be all Facebooked out, but you're going to know how to do Facebook ads, and it's going to be great.
We're gonna see you a lot then. That's pretty good.
Yes. I'm really
So-
excited to be participating in a really in a big way this year. And I'm really excited about the opportunity. And I have to say, from participating in past years, the people that I've met through MDMC have turned into friends and contacts, acquaintances. They have turned into clients. And I find that there's some real genuine people that I get to come in contact with through this event in particular. So it's definitely high on my list as a place that I want to be and a place that I want to connect with other business owners through. It's absolutely the caliber and the quality behind it is world class.
Nice. And you'll be speaking on April 28th, correct?
I cannot confirm nor deny the schedule, but yes, I have
That's what I
to go.
have.
Perfect. So what you say, I believe.
Yeah. And is there anything else you would like to say about your session and who will be attending and what you're going to be talking about?
So everything I teach and talk on Facebook ads is definitely geared towards small and medium-sized businesses and people who might not necessarily be in a position where you have an item that you can clearly add to cart on a website and clearly check out with a seamless experience. Sometimes you need to get more strategic if you don't have the benefit of having that level of tracking. For example, real estate. You can't really add a house to cart and check out on the spot. So the tactics that you use for real estate are quite different. The tactics you use for a local small business, brick and mortar business that has a 25-mile drive radius around it of customers are going to be different than a large e-commerce company. So small and medium-sized businesses is definitely who I speak to, and my focus is on how to use your budget in the most appropriate way so that you're not wasting your time, money, and energy trying to over experiment to figure out what's going to work for you, but taking the most direct path with the budget, the conservative budget you have to work with, and managing those expectations on how to use it. So in the Facebook ad space. So that's if any of that appeals to you, you are definitely going to want to tune in to the session.
Nice. And for new companies trying to create a digital presence and getting started on social media, what would be your advice to them?
My advice, if you're a new company trying to get started on social media, don't try to do it all. Master one piece at a time, and you'll know you're ready to move on to the next piece where you find yourself wandering into, okay, what's next? But if you're in that position where you're feeling overwhelmed of going, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how this is working, I'm not sure, then you're not ready yet to start layering on. So don't try to do Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn all at the same time. And don't try to nail down your email marketing messaging while trying to get your landing pages and funnels all nailed down at the same time. Pick one piece, focus on it. It does not have to be perfect. Trust me. It just has to be functional. So pick one piece, get it functional. You can tweak and refine as you go, but get comfortable with it to the point where you are confident going, okay, I understand how this works. I understand how we can improve it. And I feel ready and confident to layer on the next piece, and realize that trying to pop up a business out of the blue and have it go from zero to profitable and successful, especially online, is incredibly difficult. I'm 7 years in and I'm still figuring it out for myself, and just realize that even those experts out there, their websites aren't perfect. Their funnels aren't perfect. Their advertising isn't perfect. You literally cannot do it all in today's market. So just pick one little piece, work on it until you get comfortable with it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Walk before you run, and don't try to take on too much all at once. And just be realistic with your managing expectations to how much budget you have to work with for all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes time and experience to kind of reach the your outcome and the best
It does.
outcome possible, right?
It does. Unfortunately, it does. It does take time. You can do. I've seen other people start up and they have enough capital to work with, and they can go and hire the right experts and put the right people in place. But even with that, it still takes a little bit of experience with you as a business owner to know that the person that you're paying is executing on it the way you need to.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up? I think we're reaching our final time here.
I would say if you are a small business owner or an entrepreneur and you want to learn Facebook ads for yourself, to learn it from the ground up with some hand holding and a little bit of help so you're not struggling on your own, I definitely encourage you to check out the Swift Kick in the Ads membership. That includes the 4-week Facebook ads bootcamp that you're a lifetime member for and can retake it as many times as you want, and it reruns several times throughout the year. It also gets you access to have one-on-one sessions with me through our open office hours within the group. You can ask questions and get that support that you need on your journey to learn Facebook ads for yourself while you're in a changing landscape and environment. So with that, you can pretty much find me everywhere around the web at The Digital Gal. Facebook is probably the best place to find me. No surprise there. And if you want to check out Swift Kick in the Ads, you can head over to swiftkickintheads.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Amanda, so much for joining us.
Thank you, Marina. I really appreciate it.
Well, make sure to follow Amanda on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Digital Girl. And also take a look at her website, www.thedigitalgirl.com. And thank you for listening to this episode of This is In Your Business with UMSL Business.
This is In Your 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 Business with the UMSL Business Podcast.